no one from Texas or Arizona that authentically wears cowboy boots and hats would be caught dead purchasing cowboy cosplay clothes at Louis Vuitton. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. I wanted to make a response video to some of your comments on my video reviewing Pharrell's latest collection, the Fall/Winter 2024 menswear collection. In this show, there was a lot of colourful speedies, which I said I really loved because, you know, who doesn't love pink and turquoise and purple? But I did critique the collection, saying it looked a little bit costumey to me. The theme was not consistent. You know, the start of it was quite Western, and then it went into this more sporty, then random, like, pixelated Timberlands, and it just wasn't my cup of tea. And I got a lot of responses on my video, a lot of mixed reviews anyway, so I wanted to share them today. And yeah, thank you so much for commenting, and I love hearing your guys' perspective on this collection as well. I have been watching Louis Vuitton fashion shows for a lot of years, so I guess I wanted to share my opinion because I used to collect Louis Vuitton bags as well, and how Pharrell is fitting into the timeline of Louis Vuitton fashion history. Let's go through to the first comment. Shakaya Huston 785. I typically like listening to your videos, however this one was a bit icky. It's very obvious anything outside of Hermes you don't like. I'm pretty sure if Hermes did this theme, a lot of the items you'd have a different outlook if the H was slapped onto it. Oh, thanks for your comment. You know, I do praise Hermes a lot. I do love Hermes, but I don't hate Louis Vuitton. I don't hate other brands. I'm sorry if you got that impression. I have hundreds of videos on my channel about Chanel, Louis Vuitton, even, I don't know, Saint Laurent. And I just love talking about handbags, and I really don't want to exclude anyone on my, you know, who watches my channel. I don't care if you collect bags from any brand. It's really just what I share, what I'm interested in, and it's kind of like a diary of my channel. And to be honest, I like Hermes because of the designs. I like the quality, I like the colors, and that's why I like Hermes. But I also have liked Louis Vuitton bags in the past. The reason why I no longer collect them is that I think the quality is not there anymore, and I'm not that inspired by some of the recent designs, and I feel like they're overproducing quite a lot. And I have many videos about why I don't no longer collect Louis Vuitton, but that doesn't mean I hate Louis Vuitton. It doesn't mean that in the future I might not go back to buying it. It's just that this is the point I'm at the moment, and I'm just sharing my opinion. Yes, I really don't mean to come across like that I'm just kissing Hermes's butt all the time. I really don't want to seem like that on my channel because there's things about Hermes that I don't like either. Nameless 7354. I actually really like it. It reminds me a lot of Marc's bags for Vuitton. The unhinged details are very Marc for Vuitton. Example, the pony hair, tassels, etc. And yes, I would say Marc Jacobs did do a lot of whimsical collections as well. Like if you think of the Murakami collection, there was some cow print with pony hair as well, mixed with multicolor that was quite unhinged. And then he even did a tassel multicolor speedy with little beads, which actually, if you look at some of this collection, Pharrell has actually incorporated beads with pony hair. So perhaps it's a nod to Marc Jacobs, but I don't know. I think for at the time in the 2000s, it worked. But now moving forward to 2024, I don't think that this collection, just my opinion guys, is that revolutionary for Louis Vuitton, and it did seem like a lot of ideas being borrowed from other designers, which I don't think is particularly inspiring. I think when you're thinking about Western vibe, I think Carl did it much better back in 2014 for Chanel. That show was beautiful, it was classy, it still had a lot of strong Chanel codes, and I think that's when you can kind of incorporate Western theme into a fashion show and really make it evolve into something else. And I know that Western vibe, cowboy boots and all that was a trend a few years ago as well, and it's kind of gone out of trend. I know there was this brand called Paris, Texas that really came back in fashion, but it was a trend that kind of came and went. And if you're gonna, like, I guess, dabble into that trend again. I really think that he could have done something that is a little bit more fashion forward and a little bit more connected to Louis Vuitton as well, because a lot of the pieces from this show, I don't know, just did not seem like Louis Vuitton, apart from the fact that he put big LVs on everything. Next comment, Makeup Again 561. Shout out to Makeup. She's always commenting on my channel, so thank you so much. The purple and blue feather for 2024 Speedies are actually kind of pretty. I like the pixel jacket. I also do not like the ostrich Speedies. I said I didn't like the ostrich Speedies because they looked like warts, but anyways, the structured burgundy bag that looks like an iron was very interesting and it caught my attention immediately. I also really like the City Steamer and kind of like the Speedy in black. You look bananas. Pharrell is so on the nose with the theming for his collections. They feel camp and costumey. It's like he's designing for other artists' music videos rather than a fashion label. I would actually agree with that comment because it did feel like, yeah, you could definitely see some of these outfits in a music video, and I don't know if that's necessarily something that the normal Louis Vuitton customer would like, but maybe Pharrell is trying to change that. And there was another comment that said, I thought was very interesting. Thomas Talk said this was either for Lil Nas X or a rich Texan. And yeah, Lil Nas X. Yeah, I can imagine him wearing this collection. It seemed like that vibe, or a rich Texan, but I don't think every rich Texan would necessarily go for this because it's, in my opinion, it's a bit cliche, and I don't know. It's like if, what's an example? It's like if Louis Vuitton did AFL football shirts for, you know, inspired by Australian football. It doesn't mean that supporters of AFL football are going to go to Louis Vuitton and buy those shirts. Does that make any sense? But that's just the impression I got from the show. Jolie, so part of my family are American Westerners, and I lived in Texas and Oklahoma. The hand-tooled leather made by local artisans is a vibe, but not in a luxury house. You've got to be young and strong to carry a bag full of thick hand-tooled leather and metal embellishments. Did he add the concealed hidden carry pocket, when in Rome? Yeah, actually, I thought that was kind of weird too, how some of the bags had like a flap and a zipper. It just seemed, you know, a bit overkill. Style chatter, even before you mentioned it in this video, I felt like a lot of the bags looks like Coach bags from previous eras that you can nab for like $60 or less on eBay. I certainly got that vibe too. Me, Mom. Hi Jess, I enjoy watching your channel. I live, work and travel throughout Arizona, Texas and New Mexico, where cowboy and rodeo culture is a way of life. Pharrell understood the assignment and I loved every single piece in the show. Cowhide bags are common here and I can't wait to buy my own cowhide Speedy. Well, that's good. I guess I stand corrected there because, yeah, someone who actually lives in the areas that perhaps this collection was inspired by is actually willing to buy a bag from this collection. So there you go. Antonia 5825 said the problem is that Pharrell is not a fashion designer. He's playing at being a fashion designer and it's obvious. The show was unoriginal and derivative. Was the artisanship beautiful? Of course, there are some pieces that I would purchase if the prices were so ridiculous, like the Speedy or the Native American stitching. But most of the looks are what you would find on Etsy or a craft fair in the southwestern US. Oh, and for everyone who says this is very Texas or Arizona, no one from Texas or Arizona that authentically wears cowboy boots and hats would be caught dead purchasing cowboy cosplay clothes at Louis Vuitton. As they say in the part of the country they would be, all hat and no cattle. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of got that impression too, but I might be wrong, guys, but I kind of agreed with that comment. And then someone else added and responded to this comment and said, and I would add to the point out that cowboy culture is actually not the dominant culture in Texas, especially in the big cities. And exactly as you say, for those who this is their normal lifestyle, they would never buy it at Louis Vuitton. Holly Grace. Hi, Holly Grace says the show was incohesive, whether you liked the collection or not. I agree. There are parts of it that were really vibrant and fun, but other parts were just repeated used ideas. Overall, Pharrell Williams sells to the demographic who most likely don't analyze fashion shows too closely, like the average Chanel client. It's just toys for them. True. I mean, just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean that you necessarily delve into the meaning behind these shows or how these fit into the history of Louis Vuitton or how they're even relevant to Louis Vuitton. You just want the latest new thing. And I think a lot of the hype around this collection and Pharrell is the fact that he's a celebrity. He's bringing a lot of these like bold colors, these bold themes, and it's getting a lot of attention, but it's attention grabbing, but it's necessarily groundbreaking for me. It's not. It's been done to death, and I don't know, guys. That's just how I felt about it. I don't feel excited about it at all. It doesn't inspire me one bit, actually. The only thing that I think is interesting is the fact that Louis Vuitton are elevating their speedies and they're using more of these fancy leathers. I think that is something that we haven't seen before that Pharrell is changing with Louis Vuitton. But of course, that comes with a price, you know. Miranda FBD. I love the ostrich speedies. The number of feather follicles you'll find varies with the part of the body. Even ostrich with few or no quills is beautiful. I have a problem with your use of the word disgusting. Some of the items are strong cowboy vibes, which is kind of cool. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just insulting Pharrell's work. That's it. And yes, I mean, Pharrell's a celebrity. He's gonna be okay with me critiquing this collection, guys. It's just how I feel about it. Jane Church. Yikes. For starters, all the bags look like they weigh about 10 pounds each, with all that metal and doodags hanging off them. I was done with that back in 2007. Aside from that, absolutely hideous and will cost a fortune. What a disaster. I agree. The only wearable piece is the pink Speedy, which will cost 15k and also heavy as lol. The few bags that actually do produce from the show will never be used by anyone and will just sit on the shelf collecting dust and lining LVMH's pockets with more cash. It's kind of obscene. I guess rich people can never be satisfied. Psycho Pomelo. I felt like I was watching a Halloween show, completely unwearable except a couple of bags. Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of people say that, you know, runway shows are not supposed to be wearable, but I disagree because if you think of haute couture shows, they're the things that really showcase and advertise the brand, and they're pieces that are not wearable. But this is a ready-to-wear show, okay, guys? These are clothes that you are supposed to wear. These are clothes that you can order and wear, part of your everyday life. This is not just a fashion show to make advertising for the brand. It is in a way. I mean, there's a lot of pieces that will not be produced, most likely, but these are pieces that you are supposed to wear on an everyday basis. And a lot of these clothes were kind of a little bit of a joke to me. Like, you wouldn't want to go out in a full racing car suit, and maybe you won't want to go out with these cowboy pants either. They just didn't look that fashionable to me. The bag geek. Quit the Minecraft. I like the tracksuits though. Literally none of the bags were a vibe. And then the bag geek also said, I can't believe LV plagiarized Hermes Shadow. And yeah, they do have a Speedy that's very similar to the Hermes Shadow Birkin. Nubby Rose. The whole show was cowboy chic rip-off cliche. There were a few beautiful pieces, but I agree. Overall, the vibe wasn't right. Edit, I'm from Texas. Yeehaw! The ostrich warts were totally hideous. Hi, Nubby Rose. JPPD. I completely agree with you. The whole Western theme is super hideous and tacky. All the Western details look cheap, like Kmart cheap. Tareem Harakuso, yeah, he cut, copy, and pasted ideas like a collage and made a collection. That's not cohesive. It's all over the place. Israeli flavor. This collection was a complete disaster. So confused, and I think he needs to be gone. I agree with your commentary about the ostrich. OMG, it looked like herpes. Dreadful. That guy. Wow. You just look at something, do absolutely no research, and criticize someone else's work. That's crazy. I don't know, guys. I do my research. I have so many videos on my channel about Louis Vuitton, and I have talked about so many Louis Vuitton collections. So I do my research. I would disagree with that, but in terms of Western culture and maybe all that, I did not do my research, so you've got a point there. But sometimes when you're critiquing a fashion show, this is just like literally my first impression of it and what I see when I'm looking at the clothes. And if I don't connect with it, guys, I'm just going to be honest and I'm just going to tell you. Joseph Maurice, the show was horrible and he needs to go back to rapping and buy a new pair of glasses. Like, great, we know they're diamond Tiffany glasses. Time for a new pair now. The Sir Times 7471. I live in Texas, but I don't like country vibe, and I agree with you, Jessie. I don't like this collection, only the colourful Speedy. I love it, but nothing else. Ice cream. Well, this show is what happens when you hire for hype. The colourful Speedies are cute, the pink one especially. Pure Indulgence says, happy unpopular opinion here, but I loved the show. I love the Western theme. I live in the US and in the Northeast, and I felt like it was wearable, even in most parts of my country. I think the Speedies are really beautiful, including the one with the studs. I think it was a wonderful homage to native culture and an introduction for folks outside of Western fashion culture to dabble into this look. Like the cowboy boots with the gold toe detail are really nice and would probably look good paired with most outfits. Remember the cowboy boots and skirt trend? Also, as someone who from the Northeast, the Timberland-inspired boots are a revamp from my childhood. I love it, but I get that most of these looks are not for the faint of heart. Most runway looks aren't made for mainstream consumption, and I'm okay with that. That was good to hear your opinion, Pure Indulgence. Really good to hear a perspective from somebody who lives in the US, I suppose, in the Northeast. Jack's Bag Attack. Hi, Jack. I think the entire show was to highlight the Speedies. 99% of the collection is not going to be produced at all. It was just a show. Perhaps. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Let me know, guys, what did you think about some of these comments? I know a lot of people are praising this collection. So, yeah, anyways, it was great to hear your thoughts, guys, and I'm really curious to watch other people's reviews on this show too. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys on my next one. Bye!